Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here. Welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility, the album here on the channel, where we take a look and review some really cool new releases in the worlds of all forms of heavy metal, hard rock, progressive rock, jazz, fusion, classic rock. We cover a lot of grounds here, and sometimes we may even talk about something that ain't not so good, right? Today, that's not the case today. So we're taking a look at the new album from a beloved guitar player. For decades and decades and decades, he's one of my favorites, and it's his brand new release on Nuclear Blast Records. We're talking about Michael Schenker and the Michael Schenker Group. Yes, MSG is back. This is not Michael Schenker Fest or Michael Schenker Temples of Rock. This is Michael Schenker Group. What's the difference, you may ask? Who the hell knows? It all depends on what Michael wants to do, right? This is called Immortal. Produced by the man himself, as well as Michael Voss, who's been kind of hanging around the Schenker camp for quite a while now. Also helps out on vocals and keyboards and odds and ends, but he's been kind of a member of a lot of the different Schenker bands over the years. We've got 10 tracks, 9 new tracks, 1 reworking of an old classic Scorpion song that Michael recorded with them back on the first album, Lonesome Crow. So let's take a look at this bad boy, right? So you got the track listing on the back, and then you've got there's the CD. In the jewel tray, you've got that. All right, let's get this back on there. Let's take a look at the booklet. All right, so you've got songs and lyrics and who plays on every track, which is absolutely key because I will tell you, yes, there are a lot of folks on here. So, you know, some of you are probably asking, well, what makes this then any different than Michael Schenker Fest and Temple of Rock? Well, not much. A lot of the same characters are here. So it's just a matter of calling it something different. Honestly, I don't know why he ever ventured away from MSG, right? You know, Schenker Fest and Temple of Rock, you know, whatever. I get it. He wanted to kind of make it look a little different, but in essence, it's not much different than what we've been seeing from Michael Schenker's various lineups over the years. So, of course, we've got involved in this project Ralph Scheepers, vocalist from Primal Fear. You got Ronnie Romero, vocalist with the current incarnation of Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, as you know, well as the new version of Vandenberg, and you know, all sorts of other different bands. Ronnie's showing up everywhere. You got the man himself on guitars. You got Joel Turner on vocals. Of course, Joel Turner, ex of Rainbow and Deep Purple and Fandango, another guy who's worked with a million people over his career. You got Gary Barden, of course, longtime MSG vocalist. You got Doogie White, longtime Schenker vocalist, also now with one of the factions of Alcatraz. Doogie's also sang with Yngwie Malmsteen, lots of other people, Tank. You got Robin McAuley on board again, also with Michael Schenker Fest and the McAuley Schenker Group. You've got Barry Sparks, okay, longtime bass player who's played with a number of different people, okay. You've got Brian Tichy on drums. Brian also, you know, a member of Whitesnake and Foreigner and tons of other bands. Great drummer. You got Michael Voss, like I mentioned. You got Simon Phillips, the great Simon Phillips, plays a little bit of drums on the album. You got Derek Sherinian of Black Country Communion, Sons of Apollo, ex-Dream Theater, playing keyboards on one song. You've got Steve Mann, okay, also showing up here on various instruments and things. And you've got Bodo Shop on drums, okay. So let's dig into this album. So we've got, like I said, 10 tracks, 9 brand new ones, and 1 reworking. Starts off with probably, for my mind, the best song on the album, and a really, really great song called Drilled to Kill. You talk about like a supercharged, almost power metal anthem with some absolutely snarling vocals from Ralph Scheepers. If you love Primal Fear, you're going to love his vocals on the 2 tracks here. Absolutely amazing. Heavy riffs, and then this awesome solo exchange between Schenker and Sherinian on Sherinian's synths. Unbelievable. Yeah, you listen to that solo exchange on here, and I'm just drooling at the thought of Schenker appearing on an instrumental Sherinian album, which is in the works. They have been working together, and I'm thinking that's going to be something pretty spectacular. So, yeah, who else is on this song? So you got Scheepers, Schenker, Sherinian, Michael Voss on backing vocals. You got Barry Sparks on bass, and Brian Tichy on drums. Really fast fast-paced, heavy, metallic song with a killer chorus, and Sheepers just sounds terrific. And again, Sheepers and Schenker, you know, two German guys working together for the first time. It works. It works really well. I would love to hear more of this pairing. Okay. Next up, we've got Don't Die on Me Now, which, it's funny, before I actually kind of started looking through the booklet, you know, I looked at to see who appears on here. So I saw that Doogie was on here and all that. And then I started, you know, and then I put the CD in the car and I'm listening to it. I'm not actually, you know, reading along. I'm listening to Don't Die on Me Now, which is a good, you know, kind of melodic hard rock song. And I'm listening to the vocals and I'm like, oh yeah, that's Doogie. Yeah, that sounds like Doogie. Yeah, it's pretty good. Good, solid song, whatever. And then afterwards, I go and I start looking up in the booklet and I'm like, oh shit, that's Joel and Turner. Not used to hearing Joe Lynn at kind of like this huskier, you know, I guess I haven't heard a lot of newer Joel and Turner stuff in years, and I was expecting that voice that we all knew so well from Rainbow. And I was amazed that he was doing something a little bit different here. Or maybe it's just he's a bit older, and that's where his vocal, you know, that's where his range lies nowadays. Could be. Although I think he changes up a little bit later in the album, which we'll get to. So here we got Joel and Turner on vocals, Schenker, keyboards is Steve Mann. You've got on backing vocals, you got Michael Voss and Joel and Turner. You got Barry Sparks on bass and Simon Phillips on drums. And I think I might have incorrectly mentioned that Michael Voss also did keyboards and some stuff on here. Actually, that's not true. Michael Voss just doing vocals. Who was I thinking of? Hold on. I'm getting all sorts of confused here. Yeah, I'm thinking Steve Mann is helping out on keyboards and I guess some rhythm guitars and things. So Michael Voss just doing vocals on here. So anyway, next. Then we got Night of the Dead, which is the first appearance on the album of Ronnie Romero. So if you're familiar with Ronnie, he's, like I said, has done the Ferryman and Lords of Black and the New Vandenberg and Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, a really good Chilean vocalist who sounds a lot like Ronnie James Dio. Night of the Dead is a good, heavy, fast-paced rocker on here. He sounds great. You've also got Steve Mann on keyboards on here. You got Ronnie Romero on lead and backing vocals, Barry Sparks on bass, and of course Brian Tichy again on drums. Excellent song. That's a really good lineup. I would say, you know, you want to go with that lineup for, you know, with Ronnie or with Ralph Sheepers on vocals. That's some pretty intense MSG stuff. Because I think, you know, and also there's no Graham Bonnet on this album. So all the guys from the recent Michael Schenker Fest make an appearance with the exception of Graham Bonnet, which is kind of interesting. Then you've got one of the, I think the second album they released as a single from this album, or the video, what have you, which is my least favorite song on the album. It's After the Rain. It's this kind of like, yeah, kind of like by the numbers melodic ballad with Michael Voss on lead vocals. It sounds like it came right out of 1986 or 7. I'm not big on it. It's okay. You got Voss on vocals, you got Steve Mann on keyboards, Barry Sparks on bass, and Bodo Schaff on drums there. So, yeah, the late Bodo Schaff. So, yeah, that's the one skipper for me on the album. Then you got Devil's Daughter, where you got Sheepers back on vocals, another good, heavy, fast-paced, you know, melodic hard rock tune bordering on power metal. You've also got Steve Mann on keyboards on that. You got Barry Sparks and Bodo on the rhythms there. Great, great heavy song, really good chorus. Like, I really dig the songs on here sung by either Ronnie Romero or Ralph Sheepers. I think they really, really work, and they fit well with Schenker's guitar. Some of these songs have some good riffing and some splendid solos. So far, the ones I mentioned, you know, Drill to Kill is very memorable. Night of the Dead and Devil's Daughter hit the marks on all that, right? Then you got Sail the Darkness, all right, another song with Ronnie on vocals. This also has, you know, basically the same configuration of everybody here. Another good song. Not one of the most memorable on the album, but pretty good. Then comes The Queen of Thorns and Roses, which is another kind of ballady song, but I like it better than the other one. This one also has Michael Voss on guitar. It's got good melodies, good hooks in it. Tishy's on drums on this one. I like it. Then probably, arguably, the heaviest and most riff-heavy song on the album is Come On Over, which, again, has Ronnie Romero on vocals. Killer riff from Schenker. You know, there might be some points on some of these songs where you're waiting to hear a little more riffs and not just waiting around to hear the solo. This one delivers. It's all about the riff on this song, which is just absolutely killer. You got Steve Mann on keys, you know, Romero and Michael Voss doing backing vocals, Barry Sparks and Bodo Schopf on this particular one. Definitely top 3 song on this album. And then the final song before the kind of remake is Sangria Morte, which is a nice, long, moody, atmospheric piece with Joe Lynn Turner on vocals. He sounds spectacular on this. This is the song where you hear the Joe of old, right? I really like it. This is, again, not a fast ripper of a song. It's more of like a mid-paced, melodic, great chorus, great verse, atmospheric, really good guitar solo. And this also has Steve Mann, Barry Sparks, and Brian Tichy on it, as well as Michael Voss and Joe Lynn Turner doing the backing vocals. But Joe is on the lead. And then you've got a remake of In Search of the Peace of Mind, which is absolutely terrific. And here's where everybody kind of helps out. So here you got on vocals Ronnie Romero, Gary Barden, Doogie White, and Robin McCauley. Then you got Schenker, Mann, Sparks, and Phillips finishing up the instrumentation. So here you get all the vocalists getting to do a little bit throughout the song. You got some really good screams towards the end by Robin McCauley. But otherwise, it sounds really good. And the guitar solo is amazing. Amazing. So, you know, you compare this, I mean, that's what I was doing. I was comparing this to that really early version of In Search of the Peace of Mind off of Lonesome Crow, and I don't know, this is really good. Really good. And like I said, the whole like last minute of it is just chills going up and down your spine. Awesome stuff. So, I dig it a lot. It's a really great sounding album. It's heavy. The songs are memorable. I've listened to this already. Probably I've only had it for like a week. I think I've listened to this like 8 times already. It's that good, and the songs are that memorable. Like I said, you know, one track I'm not big on, which is that, you know, that first ballad on here, After the Rain. I don't mind the second ballad, The Queen of Thorn and Roses. That's pretty memorable. But the rest of it all kicks ass. All kicks ass. Easily, for me, the best Michael Schenker related album in a while. And I'm saying that pretty early. I've only had a week, like I said, but quite good. So pick it up. I think you'll dig it. If you're a Schenker fan, you got to have it. Lots of great solos. Vocals are outstanding. And the songs are really memorable and catchy. And that's what it's all about. And it's pretty heavy, too. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. A lot of good stuff coming up tomorrow. Rich Catino, Sidney Taylor, and I will be ranking our 10 favorite albums from Yngwie Malmsteen, talking about more great guitar players. That's happening tomorrow morning. Also, I'm getting together with Mike Antonelli and George LeMay in the wake of the passing of Chick Corea. We're each going to give you our favorite 10 albums in the entire Chick Corea discography. I'm talking a lot of stuff he's worked on. So that's happening tomorrow, as well as Lynn Versace and I will be giving our favorite mellow songs from heavy bands, 10 each. So that's happening tomorrow, and I'm hoping tomorrow, if it's not tomorrow, I'll get to it on Monday, I'm hoping to review the new Accept album as well, another Nuclear Blast release, which just came out. So that's also hopefully happening. I know a lot of you have asked, Pete, when are you going to review the new Transatlantic album? I'm waiting for it. It should be here any day now. So as soon as I get that, digest it, that'll be coming too. You're probably going to have to wait another week for that, so at least. But I can't wait to dig into that, and I'm going to be reviewing the full tamale, the big full edition. I know they've got like an abridged version and the whole thing. I'm doing the whole damn thing. The whole damn thing. All the damn time, right? So like I said, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube. All the damn time. We'll see you tomorrow with lots of stuff and a lot of good stuff happening this week as well. So don't touch that dial. Make sure you subscribe. If you want to support the channel, we have the Ko-Fi link below. All your donations are, of course, very much appreciated and thankful to keep this train rolling here. So we'll see you all real soon. All right? Take care. Bye-bye.